Labor Law of Cambodia, 1997, Labor Court. Final Provisions. Transitional Provisions, Chapter 17. Labor Courts. Article 387, Labor courts shall be created that have jurisdiction over the individual disputes occurring between workers and employers regarding the execution of the labor contract or the apprenticeship contract. Article 388, the organization and functioning of the labor courts shall be determined by law. Article 389, pending the creation of the labor courts, disputes regarding the application of this law shall be referred to common courts. Chapter 18. Transitional Provisions. Article 390, the provisions of this law are lawfully applicable to current individual labor contracts. However, workers are entitled to continue enjoying benefits granted them by their present contract when these benefits are more favorable than those they would have under this law. Provisions of this law cannot be a reason for terminating a contract. Article 391, any clause in a current contract that does not conform to the provisions of this law must be modified within 6 months from the promulgation of this law. Article 392, in a transitional period and until a date that shall be set by a procas, ministerial order, of the Ministry in charge of labor, all workers' unions can nominate candidates to the first round of shop steward elections without needing to prove their representativeness. During the above period, the professional organizations of workers and employers claiming to be representative in their professional and geographic area can sign collective agreements covering the same jurisdiction. However, the validity of these agreements will end, at the latest, within 1 year after the date that the procas referred to in the first paragraph is published. Any renewal of the agreement or any new agreement can be made only within the framework of Article 96. While waiting for professional organizations to be recognized as representative at the national level, the Minister in charge of labor shall select prominent figures, officials, credited with special merits in the domain of social affairs or in the area of occupation and employment to occupy the seats reserved for representatives of workers and employers. Article 393, in the absence of the post for labor inspectors, labor medical inspectors and labor controllers, officials who are appointed to conduct inspections by the Minister in charge of labor shall carry out the functions and the duties of the labor inspectors, labor medical inspectors and labor controllers as stipulated in this law. Article 394, workers' unions and employers' associations that have already been created before this law comes into effect, must again complete the formalities in conformance with the provisions of this law. Chapter 19. Final Provisions. Article 395, all provisions contrary to this law shall be abrogated. Article 396, this law shall be declared as a matter or great urgency. This law was adopted on January 10, 1997 by the National Assembly of the Kingdom of Cambodia during the 7th session of its first legislature, and promulgated on March 13, 1997.